Howdy, folks. Howdy, it's Black Dragon. Welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is you happen to be. We're here late on a Monday night, or is it Sunday night? One of those things. Late on a Sunday night. And we always like to, in as much as we can, we always like to give both sides of the story. And whenever because a lot of times when we're talking, we have to understand that there are jury pools out there, and they hear what we're saying, and so we like to be as correct as we can about it. So, got a call today about a story that we did about a year ago, and let me see if we can't get that screen shared. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so we got a story about a kid that the story was entitled something like Rich Mama's Boy Kills Biker in a Florida Bar. And the sheriff down there in Florida had quite a lot to say about it. We played that. It was kind of cool. But one of the good friends of this biker, one of his good friends gave me a shout and said, there's a little bit more to the story. Actually, there's a lot more to the story. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it for a few minutes so that we can get some more accurate information out there. And we're going to do that right after this brief introduction. So I'll be right back. Stick with us. Howdy, folks. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. Make sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe. And also make sure to listen and watch, too. Hey, all right. So, you guys may remember this. Let me find that screen, if you don't mind. You guys might remember this. There was a guy who shot up a bar down there in Winter Haven, Florida. And I'm just going to play this for a few minutes to give you some context. This is a video we did about a year ago. So I'm going to jump in right here and play you a little bit of context. Here we go. Action.
Ladies, and they're minding their...
A motorcycle gang group. I just had to stop that there. A motorcycle gang group and a few ladies. A motorcycle gang group. This is part of the reason these people hate us so bad, but go ahead.
Their own business, having a few beers.
They were minding their own business and having a few beers. I just want you to understand that when the sheriff says a motorcycle gang group and a few ladies were minding their own business, that pretty much says it all.
On Highway 544, which is east of Haines City, in the unincorporated area. It's about 5:12 in the afternoon. And Joshua Badillo, who's 31 years of age, comes into the bar. And inside the bar is a motorcycle gang group of a few people and some ladies, and they're minding their own business, having a few beers. They've apparently been at some kind of memorial ride earlier in the day. Joshua's been drinking. He comes up to them and begins to have a conversation. And from the conversation, an argument erupts. And so they quiet the argument down themselves. Joshua Badillo buys a round of beer for them. The argument's over with, and everybody goes along their way. A little while later, this group of folks, or friends in the motorcycle gang, they go outside to the tiki bar. And so they're sitting around at a table. Joshua Badillo comes back, comes up in the middle of the group, sits down in a chair, starts to talk, reaches across the table, and we can see in the video where he grabs a guy's hand to shake his hand, and he holds his hand for an extended period of time while he's shaking it. He turns it loose, and he's just kind of all up in their business. Well, you can see one of the guys goes to what is an off-duty bar employee and says, "Can you get this guy out of here? We want him away from us." So they go talk to him. One of the folks with the gang is a pretty good sized guy. And then you have the employee of the bar. And they get him finally moving. He's had quite a bit to drink, as you can tell by his body language. They come out of the tiki bar, which is kind of behind the bar, and they walk back through the bar into the parking lot out front. Next door is a convenience store. And you can tell through other video that they're having conversations and pointing at each other. And the particularly big guy, who turns out to be our victim number one, is kind of in his face, and they're telling him he needs to leave. He goes back toward his truck slowly and begrudgingly, with some people who he knows from the bar encouraging him to leave and to get in his truck. So they're kind of pushing him and encouraging him to go across the parking lot. But all of a sudden he turns and starts running past two people that are trying to get him into his vehicle. So he runs past those two, and he runs past three more, and he shoots our victim one, which is a big man. Shoots him through the hand and also through the groin with one shot. At this moment in time, a guy burst out of the bar with his firearm in order to protect his buddy and starts shooting at our suspect. The suspect goes around behind his vehicle, which is parked further out in the parking lot. And the guy with the firearm goes out and around the truck along with another person. So now you've got our suspect who did the shooting, Badillo, with his gun. You've got the guy who came out of the bar, who is now going to be victim two. And he goes to the other side of the truck outside of the camera view. And immediately there's gunfight in the parking lot. You can tell by the body language of other people that are in camera view that they're scattering. Victim two is shot in the chest. He falls down. He gets back up and he staggers back toward the bar, where he once again falls. Our suspect, Joshua Badillo, now he gets in his vehicle and he says, "Pete, it's time to go." And off he takes off at a high rate of speed. He goes toward his home, which is probably 5 minutes away. Interestingly enough, he has a vehicle crash, so he's involved in a hit and run on the way to his home. Deputies are arriving, EMS is arriving. We gather information. It's no secret about who Joshua is. And we go to the house. We circle the house. It's in a very nice community. I'm guessing the house is probably $1 million, $2 million home, upscale neighborhood. He goes into the house. We walk around the vehicle and we see blood. Turns out Joshua Badillo is shot as well, and he's in the house. So after about 45 minutes in the house, apparently he decides, hey, I'm really bleeding. This could be serious. He comes out to the deputies. We take him into custody and we remove him to the hospital, where we determined that he shot under the armpit and it comes out his back shoulder. So we have this shootout at Shady Cove where the suspect shoots 2 people, kills one of them, and he, in fact, is shot in part of the shootout. And it all started over an argument, a simple argument, and ended up with a dead man, a shot man, and a shot suspect. Joshua Badillo is charged with attempted first-degree murder and felony first-degree murder on the individual that died. There may be other charges filed later as we plow through the details. Some of our witnesses fled from the bar. We'd still like to talk to them just so we can finish the investigation and tie it all up nicely and neatly. But we're relatively confident that we've got the primary players in the event, and certainly we have a lot of details. It's been a long time since I've arrived at a bar to find knives, stilettos, guns, and blood all over the bar floor, and the concrete pavement out in front of the bar. It was quite an event, and we've got a dead person. So the investigation is still underway. Our homicide team, which is simply the very best, is at this time mopping up the details and will be for a few weeks. Do you have any detail? Any questions of me?
Assuming all the stilettos and other things were on the people who were partying who were not involved in this.
Well, we suspect that some of the people who went to the hospital were there, because we ended up with, I think, 3 knives, maybe 4 knives on the ground, a gun on the ground. That was the one that our victim ultimately used. The victim had a .38 caliber. The suspect had a .40 caliber semi-automatic, but they were slinging lead in Haines City on Sunday afternoon.
Did he have the weapon on him when he was inside, or did he retrieve it from the truck?
This was over an extended period of time, because he started the initial argument, and then he bought them all rounds of beer, and it calmed down. And there's at least some testimony that he might have gone back to the truck and gotten the gun at that time. We're not absolutely sure. But these folks were minding their own business from everything that we've picked up so far. And they simply went back to the tiki bar, which you have to go through the bar, out the back door in order to get to the tiki bar area, minding their own business. And he stumbles up there drunk again, and he's hanging over the table and trying to shake hands. And still, they don't start a fight with him. They go and get help and say, hey, can you get this guy out of here? And of course, they start to get him out. And one of the folks who is victim number 1, he now is following them out, trying to help get the guy out. And you can tell he's telling him what he's going to do for him if he doesn't leave. So when this guy decides to start shooting, I mean, he's all the way, they've got him all the way out the front door, across the parking lot, almost to his vehicle, when he decides, It ain't going to be like that at all. And he runs past 5 people to shoot victim 1, back up near the front of the store. And then he goes back, and as he's going back toward his vehicle, that's when victim 2 ultimately runs out and is shooting at him with his .38. And then victim 2 is reloading in the parking lot and goes to the other side of the truck where they have shootout at the Sandy Cove Bar and Grill parking lot. And that's where victim 2 was shot and ultimately was transported to the hospital, but died less than an hour later. And our victim, he leaves. He's involved in a hit and run. We catch him he lives there, but as I understand it, his parents' house in a very nice neighborhood. But this guy here, if he'd have just minded his business and left these folks alone, none of this would have happened. It's on him.
What's the status of the person he hit? The person he hit with the car wreck?
We're following up with that person's okay.
How many bullets were exchanged, and did any go inside the building, either at the convenience store or at the dive bar?
We're still counting because there were shots toward the bar.
This is what yeast does to the
So
gut.
anyway,
Imagine this is your gut.
they got me. They got me with a commercial. There we go.
And then there were shots across the parking lot and across Highway 544. And then there was a shootout parallel to Highway 544. And then apparently the suspect, after he shot the victim in the chest, for good measure, ripped another one at him, which went across Highway 544. We can see where it skipped through the dirt. So we had a surreal life shootout for a few minutes. And we've got a dead person as a result of it. And this guy should spend the rest of his life in prison for his efforts. And it all would have been so easy if he'd have just minded his own business. But that's not always what drunks do.
Wow. So, wow. Yeah. So when you hear something like that, then we all know that that person is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, you know? We when you hear something like that, so he's a drunk, and that's what drunks do, and he's going to jail for the rest of his life. These are the things that we know after listening to that. So I got a message from a guy whose name I can't use yet, and he said that he was there. I was there, Black Dragon. I was there, and I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and you guys got a little bit of it wrong. And actually a lot of it wrong. And unfortunately, he says it's going to take 2 or 3 days while he thinks about whether or not he wants to come on the show. So I can't mention his name, and I can't tell his story because I don't have his receipts. But I think it is important to put it out there that there is another side that's floating around out there. And this friend of his says that he was just looking him up yesterday, looking to see if the case was still alive, because this is 1 year ago this happened. And he said that he found my video. So I don't know, is my phone number out there? Some of you guys actually get to my WhatsApp number, and he got to me on WhatsApp. I don't know how y'all find me on WhatsApp. Y'all be finding me though. Y'all find me. And I'm thankful to be found, but damn, y'all are some sleuths like a mofo. And he found me and he sent me a message directly on WhatsApp. And then I called him and we talked face to face because I called him video. So I know that he exists. I know that he's real. And he's considering whether or not he's going to talk to me on the show. And I hope that he does, because I would like for you to hear the story. It's very interesting. And it's quite a bit different than what we're hearing right now. Which makes you like so every now and then we break news here. And every now and then we get new developments. And I always encourage you guys, if you have a new development or something, Black Dragon is going to try to put both sides of the story out. This is my phone number, 404-692-0336. And you can reach me at blackdragon@blacksabbathmc.com. These are the ways that you can get stuff to me. blackdragon@blacksabbathmc.com. And I'm going to do my very best to get both sides of the story out. Now, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to tell your story. People will call you and they have all kinds of agendas behind what they do. And so therefore, I can't talk to you in the first person as if I were there. If I was there, were there, one of those two. I can't talk to you like I was there if I wasn't. But I can tell you that he said there was more of a self-defense element to that. And that there were a lot of things that happened. My producer says it's if I were there. Thank you, producer. So if I were there, I can't tell you the story as if I were there, but I'm told that there was a self-defense element to it. And there was quite a bit more that went on that the sheriff didn't talk about. That if this is true, maybe boy's got a self-defense case. So we called him the Rich Mama's Boy killer. The Rich Mama's Boy killer shoots some bikers in a biker bar and kills one, injures another. And the way this is told is like really he was just a drunk person coming up out of nowhere. And you gotta think about some of this. You gotta be like who does that? Who does that? Sometimes when we hear these stories, we have to bounce them off of the sound of truth. My mom used to always tell me that you can recognize the truth whenever you hear it because the truth has a familiar sound that sounds familiar, even if you've never heard it before. She called it the ring of familiarity. Sounds plausible. What doesn't sound plausible is that just somebody just walk into a bar, but it happens. We do know it happens, like the mass killers and stuff. Walk into a bar and just start shooting people, but people don't particularly pick bikers out to just kill, do they? I hope not. So, we don't know exactly what went on, but it might be slightly different or a lot different than the sheriff's soliloquy, which is beautiful and a well-told story, but he wasn't there either. He wasn't. I wasn't there. He wasn't there. But we did talk to somebody who was there. And we're going to wait to see what he says about it. And hopefully he'll get to me within a day or so like he promised. And he'll come on the show. And that would be really cool. All right. So maybe there was some more self-defense. Maybe there was more to it. Maybe there were more folks involved. Maybe. We'll check it out. All right. But I just wanted to put out there that there are more sides to that story. All right. All right, that's it. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comments section below. We'll be doing this in the morning, so hopefully you guys we'll check you guys out tomorrow morning. Same bad time, same bad channel. Sometime around 10, we'll have our news story out in the morning. I'm Black Dragon. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny. Let me get the right button to get out of here. Boom! Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospect's Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.